In the following tutorial, we're going to take a look at our mouse down and mouse up events. Now, just to recap what we just finished, we just added a first time equals null section to the top of our file, and we moved all of our function invocations into that in our event listener. And then at the end of that, we create a new variable, or we change the variable first time to something else, so that now this file or this particular set of actions will only happen one time for the file, even if we go back to frame 1. Now, there's another thing that we've done here which is really good, and that is we've moved all of the invocation of our functions and other things that we want to run to the top of the file, which makes them a little bit easier to access, and then we've put all of our function definitions down at the bottom of the file. And that way it's kind of separating your logic from where you're using it. And it's a good idea in practicing so that you're not mixing things as much as we may have done in the past. Anyway, the other thing that's really nice about this is since we're using our pre-oop function, it allows us to add more interactivity to our function by using the existing function that's there and just adding on to it. So what we're going to add on to it is a little funny, but it works quite well. What we're going to add is a repeating event, and how it works is when you have the mouse down, you want to click on the button, and what that will do is that will add the repeating event. As long as your mouse is still held down, that repeating event will continue until you let go of the mouse, which will generate the mouse up, which will then delete or remove that repeating event. So here's how it works in the code. If I can go back to that code there, I'm going to go to my code here, and you'll notice that I have an event listener for my mouse down handler, and inside that event listener right now is the function or is the actions to go to and stop a partner on the timeline. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off of there, because what I'm going to do is remove that or replace that with something else here in a second. Now, we might want to go ahead and create a new function for our repeating event. So our function repeating event will be an event this time, and it's just a regular event. I don't even have to put that it's a mouse event. Now we'll do a void, go down a couple lines, and then in our repeating event, that's where we're going to be putting our timeline stuff. So I've just pasted that. Now, in the function for the mouse down handler, what I'm going to do is to the stage, I'm going to add an event listener, and this time it's going to be an event dot enter frame. So if I can find enter frame here somewhere, there it is, event dot enter frame, and then we're going to apply the repeating event as the function to run there. So the stage has the enter frame event now added to it. Now if I run this with Control Enter, you'll notice that when I go to my file, I'll press on it and it will start to run immediately. That's really cool, but the problem with it is that it doesn't remove it when I let go. So here's one thing I'm going to do. I am going to go ahead and just change this to 1 instead of 5. And the reason why is because I just don't want it to run super fast, because we don't have that long of a timeline. But now I'm going to add one more function event listener. So I'm going to duplicate my function mouse down handler and paste that. And this is going to be the mouse up handler. And instead of add event listener, we're going to change the word add to remove event listener. Now we need to add that particular function down here, or we need to invoke that with a mouse up, and of course change that to mouse up, and then try it out. Now we're running out of time, but hopefully we'll be able to get this before we do it, and you'll see we now have a repeating event. Go ahead and save your work and go on. And what